So have you people caught up with the comments that I've left to some of the readers and the impression they were putting out? If this message hits you, you're meant to hear it, and it means something specifically for you. That reader that was telling me, and my expectation was Robert Plant coming, right? Follow the path of information. Use divine discernment and guidance and faith. Know that you get what you deserve. Well, they were telling me the next person to walk through my door was gonna take me out. Not to dinner. Not to the ocean. Not back home to bed. They were just gonna take me out. Isn't that problematic for Robert? But not the imposter. Because that fits their suit. But we got a lot of them, don't we? Lots of imposters. Lots of people trying to accomplish the impossible. All I can tell you is I don't know enough. And I'm going to never be able to say the full truth about someone else. How can a reader promise and guarantee that? I want to know. How can they promise? Because we do all have free will. And once we decide to level up or go backwards, that's where you'll find us. Situationally, you can't really trip us up. We're not on the same path. You picked your distortion. You wanted the twists and turns. It's not a straight line, Sylvia. Well, it should be. Pull the slack out of it, pal. But that's right, you changed your name, went to another country, and off you go. One-way ticket to hell. She thought she came out of it. She pulled you in, didn't she? I was disgusted the first thing I saw on that woman's page. I've been through hell. Wow. Did you do it just for Matthew? That's witchery do. And Mary Maloney said, oh, she knows everything about him. Like, did she know he has skin cancer? Did she know? Oh, she knows. That was Mary Maloney's response in the hallway that day. I remember it vividly. These were huge events, and yeah. What is this, the end-all be-all? Well, yeah, it should be. That's my intention. A life sentence. Misery with just one person, not a whole town or city or, collective. Just one. One end-all be-all. Take out all my frustrations on them that they earn. And all that goodness, all that good energy, yeah, I wanted to shove it right back to them in the bed. But, right now I'm just tooling around in the kitchen by myself. I took my contract and I went on into public and I said, well, if I'm Robert Plant's wife, this is who I am, and I'm not going to shut up when I'm abused. What a horrible person I am. And that person, they're realizing it. Yeah, I have a lot of gratitude instilled in me to stand and watch a bird hop on a fence. To watch the same ocean line, not expecting anything different, but a place to sit and get a different view. There's still so much I have not seen even in Maine. And a few years back, that's exactly what I was doing. I was telling myself, you haven't been there before. You haven't done that. That's right in your hometown. You should. And that's what I was doing. And that's when it got weird. The paranormal stuff, and then the real abnormal humans following me around. Like my little defensive driving classes on Route 1, being surrounded by veteran plates. At that time, it seemed to be women in smaller cars that were very aggressive. Was it just me? Because most of these cars around here are ruined. Yeah. It's Dumpsterville. They don't, yeah. No real care to much. Yes. That's my three-way, Matthew. You never saw it, but I gave you the description. My birthday gift. After he asked me to, bone sex and all that stuff. And he didn't like it. I gave him what he wanted. A clothed rub down with an X. He didn't like it. I still talk nice to him. Yeah. Is this what you wanted? Someone else never heard that. No. He didn't ask me to do stupid shit like that. The felon. Anyway. I didn't want to look easily reasonable. Not after all this. 7, 8 years. Thumpers up. These readers are dangerous. They want collectives. They want church size. Tax exemption. They want to walk around like floating saints and say, if my hand touches it, I should be able to take it. Because I was hearing that shit. Yeah. I was hearing that shit at Ocean Job Lots. Over the speaker, they were talking about me. And there were women a couple aisles over. Yeah, I've spoken about this before. I'm like, you're saying my name in public. You know that, right? People from the building were ending up at the same shopping places. Yeah. I'm thinking, why am I even seeing you here? I can float around the same city and not see someone I went to high school with for 10 years, keeping the same schedule. But why are you here? Divine guidance or the Nosy Neighbor Network? Glad I don't bother with that shit. It's a waste of time. And the funny thing is, the whole time I felt I was being surveilled, and Ray said, keep small circles. I thought, I'm making someone's job damn easy. They got a good view of the ocean. They could be snacking out there, getting a tan. Yeah, if you're like my super hidden surveillance, you're having a damn good time because I sit still. Yeah, pretty cushy job. But you just can't keep your mouth shut, can you? What was all that screaming? She needs me, she needs me, she needs me, she needs me. What was that? You know I'm here. You know I'm sitting here. Robert knows exactly where I am. Are you people wondering? Let the energy come through. Anyway, it's not a stable energy environment. The outlets suck. Yeah, so does the wiring. I would imagine most fuses need to be replaced anyway, if not complete. Yeah, new boxes. But they know that. I wouldn't be surprised if they come across a wildfire. No. Because they know about the air conditioners. And then all these people have these new gadgets, and I wonder, plugging them into a regular outlet with such extreme instant gratification, what does that do? I get bored like that. Think of those things. I know what I'm not wired for. I'm not wired for bullshit. I didn't think Robert was either. But the older you get, the more vulnerable you become. And right now what's stuck on the page is Tom Selleck and his commercial. But you know, he seems trapped. Always seemed to have made good decisions, but this reverse mortgage, what's happening with that? Are they getting removed? Because the bank owns it. They've overextended their loan amounts. Their houses have been devalued because of market regulations. Oh, that would suck, wouldn't it? Because you're the voice to that. It's an odd concept. Knowing what I exist on, the amount that I navigate, how they became so envious and jealous. Now, with my attitude sour, I may as well be the exact replica of Amy. But I'm not. It just doesn't cling to me like that. I even told Nicole, I said, used to be able to encounter her in a bad mood, have a verbal issue encounter where she, no. And we could hug it out and then walk around, without her saying, oh my God, I'm going to get a restraining order against you. That's why I say I have a severe allergy to bullshit. Most of the providers just love that. Because it's true. And I've had enough to where they all think I should be on antidepressants. No, I'm not that depressed. I'm frustrated. I know my potential. And I know someone is directly remanipulating my world. Now, you got all this material, but it's not yours. Proprietary mongers. Wealth grabs. Land guards. You're going to find out it's not so much fun carrying all that on your own. And you're going to understand the beauty of delegation. That is the toughest thing to surmount as a czar. The more you have to delegate and expect an honest return. Big new concepts, people, but it's the same thing. You didn't like the old government, we can restart one, but it's going to come out of someone's individual pocket, whether it's Elon's, whether it's Barron, whether it's other countries, you're going to have to accept. They're the big banks now. And there is no one world order. It's ugly. But they want to end this war quickly. So Now that they have disrupted the weather patterns, what's going to happen? That kind of nuclear force, don't you think it disrupted the weather patterns? Who's counting on rain? Who's going to get flooded out? What's going to get stuck where? You don't think any of that's calculated into it? It must be. What's it do to the satellite functions up there? Does it knock them out? Elon must know. You know, Carl Sagan, all that. They must know. Strange concept. But you cannot snuff out the will for change. And everybody gets a little bit of it at a time. You go out and you spend effort on life and you will get a little bit of change back. Then what? Why would you ever step out your door if you're not looking for that? Change of you. Change of what's in your hand. Change of thought theory and function. Maybe you needed something. And what I used to hear, yeah, not going to change for anybody. He is an island. Unreachable. My ex. And he's going to be one of those ones that walks around, has his weapon with him, his muscle memory, and he thinks that's going to keep him safe when he's in absolute fear. All the lies. He's a man that'll avoid arguments at all cost. That's pretty dangerous. He had plans to leave me and I didn't even recognize it. He made sure of it. The children had plans to leave the house. Yeah, those aren't the things you'd hear me arguing about. No. It's follow through. You're gonna give word, follow through? Yeah, you gotta do it. And when you don't, yeah, people get frustrated. And when it's a job, you don't get to emotionally check out. That's fucking rude. Yeah. Well, you know, the influence is rubbing off. Now she's sounding like housing. Because they're dealing with, not just me, they're dealing with all the other people. But the fact that they're dealing with all the other people, they're leaving me here sitting in it. They haven't filed reports. And it's almost as if they let one case open up, they know the whole thread's gonna pull them all through like a little jig. The jig is up and it's full. That's right. This is how the hours are going by for me. And while I know something is being kept from me other than monetary reward for what was legally written through alimony and the will, that's more frustrating. Because I have my life in order, my credit was in order, and I could start a business, and then I wouldn't even give two fucks about the $100 a month. But right now, it's just satisfying because legally, you're in it, and we will drag you in. And then, if you're locked up, well, I'm still not getting it, well, no harm, no foul for me. I've adjusted to the living situation. And so will you, until you can pay the debt. And it just takes so much longer when you're behind bars. Are you going to have any friends that are going to want to bail you out and pay your alimony? They're not doing it now. They're not doing it now to keep you out of jail, Dan or Aaron. Did you think it wouldn't be your debt? You married him. I guess Robert's got all his debt cleared. And my finances, none of it will go to another family. It stays in my house and provides for my situation. You collective Klingons don't get any part of my life. No, you don't. And I know that's what you want. That's how a production comes together. That's how you get value for your efforts of nonprofit. Too bad. Can't lie and get ahead. Can't call people out as a demon and think you're welcome into the future. You're not. See, I could be flipping cards and saying the same stuff. It's really my version of frustration and speculation until determined otherwise. Like I say, prove me wrong. And you can't. You're hiding. You're silent, and there's nothing you can do. Because, like I've said so many times, like I've been standing with Robert, we're in line, we're just in a different line. Actually, today we're in a shorter line. We don't qualify for that bullshit, right? We're over here now. Process of elimination. I don't do that shit. I sure as fuck don't do that shit. All right, eliminate that from the reading. Why the fuck are these people talking about it? Why are they killing each other? Yeah, that's the camel. Hanging rosaries off it. Yeah. They're supposed to go to my children. My mother-in-law wanted those rosaries to go to my children. They're staying with me. I am what? They're having a conversation. Anyway. It's a younger toned male, is what it sounds like. I guess it just likes being a voyeur. It likes frustrating people. It takes its job well. I don't think it's an official capacity at all. It's a fucking hobby for it. And I have no appreciation. It circles around the building. You people need to start talking about it. It's a disruptor. Who's nervous? Uncomfortable, blah, blah, blah. Can't you talk about yourself? If you were talking about yourself, I wouldn't have to hear it. But you're consuming your words with someone else's life and inserting assumptions. Just like that guy going to a reader. It's gossip. And that reader is culpable. You understand that, right? It incited that man to disturbance. I know what I see. I know what I don't want to do. And I know the capability I have, and I can do that. Can't I? Damn right I can. But it's all about discernment. I never really put myself in the position to be victimized. Made my intentions clear. It wasn't sketchy. You walk through my door, you got a purpose, and you know the line, just like Coleman did. But they're very happy that I explained my first encounters to get the original scope out pattern. As they were nodding and saying, yep, this is making sense. And then I said, is this the shit Mary Maloney went through? And then I get the nod, yes. And then me, panic mode, yoga in the chair, motherfucker. How do you cope? Shouldn't you do things? Yeah. I know how to respond to labor pains. Come on. Hate to be disrespectful and all, but it's really a newbie. This is the frustrating part for a lot of older individuals dealing with doctors that won't listen to them saying, look, I've lived in this body my whole life, and I know that doesn't suit me, and I can't do that. I know I'm not going back on that. And they just stare at you like, well, here's my computer screen, and what? This is what we got to do. Yeah, isn't that a practitioner's life now? Physician's assistant. I'm looking at a screen, and, well, this is what I can do. Thank goodness my next doctor's appointment isn't like that. I have a very smart thyroid doctor. I think she's going to be disappointed at the lack of progress from the system. But what can we do? Sit and wait for others to have surgery, for them to reschedule. Yeah, what's the deal? You know, it was important to address the alimony Thursday of this week. But, hey, can we get together Monday instead? Where's the urgency? You know, emergency accommodations and move and all, and they still want money from me for moving when they have done the damages, so it's going to come out of housing. It just is. The vehicle for moving, manpower, it's going to come out of housing. They have petty cash. They need to own up to it. They never arrived to do the job. They never answered the phone calls to take care of the problem. And I shouldn't have to be moving, but I am. May it make all of the other neighbors extremely happy, but guess what? It won't. Because with all the improvements here and the rallying together and you really hammering down on the real problems, there's a needle uptick. Where is it supposed to go? Where are all the questions supposed to go? I could go to a professional counselor and they just sit back and, oh, that's too, oh, wow. Yeah, I'm sorry. No, I understand. Yeah, that's the other side of the couch, people. Well, when do you want to come back, you know? Do you think you need to come back next week or what? Right. When do you want to talk about it again? It's a lovely thing, having been on the big pharma trip first. There's a lot of stuff that's going to be discovered. How does it connect with the Epstein thing, other than money? And his financial choices and how he guided people to do whatever. These vampires are out in pairs, strolling around, thinking, oh yeah, we see the light. We have our third eye open. Pump it out, find the way. They're watching. Oh, broken limbs in the nest. Oops. Hey, Jelly Roll. Hello, dog. Oh, Tony the Tiger here, and yeah. This is a Paris puff. And, you know, just my own words, circumstances, femboys, producers, bird in the bush, a bug, butterfly, and Robert's alter ego. Someone else in the photo.